A recent revelation has shed light on the heart-wrenching final moments of Grammy-winning country music icon Naomi Judd. A yellow Post-it note, obtained from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, revealed the singer's request to keep her daughter and singing partner, Winona, away from her funeral. Despite her request, Winona did attend the funeral, and images from the investigation depict a blood-splattered bed and a gun on a bedside table. Ashley Judd, Naomi's daughter, discovered her mother in her bed with a bullet wound to the head. In the wake of her mother's death, Ashley spoke about her struggles with mental health issues and the family's grief in a recent interview. However, the Judd family has faced criticism for their efforts to keep the details of Naomi's passing private, and a bill, the Naomi Judd bill, has caused controversy and sparked debate over the balance between privacy and accountability. The bill, which makes it more difficult for the public to obtain death records, has faced opposition from those who believe it prevents families from seeking justice and allows law enforcement to hide a sloppy investigation. The bill continues to raise important questions about the rights of families and the public's right to information. The last message left by Naomi Judd before her passing was a heart-wrenching note that has recently been made public. The Grammy-winning country music icon had written on a yellow Post-it note, reportedly obtained from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, that she did not want her daughter and singing partner, Winona, to attend her funeral. The note read, "Do not let WY come to my funeral. She's mentally ill," and was underlined with the word "not" being emphasized. Despite Naomi's request, Winona did attend the funeral. Images obtained from the investigation also depict what appears to be Judd's blood-splattered bed and a gun on a bedside table. The police report noted that Naomi's husband, musician Larry Strickland, was traveling at the time of her death, and Naomi did not want to be alone. Ashley Judd, Naomi's daughter, was the one who discovered her mother in her bed and called the ambulance after seeing her in a manic state and calling the family doctor. The doctor attended to Naomi in her bedroom but had just left for a moment when Ashley found her mother with a bullet wound to the head. Naomi was open about her struggles with mental health issues before her death on April 30, 2022, at her Tennessee home. In the weeks following her death, Ashley sat down with Diane Sawyer on Good Morning America to talk about her grief and how her family was weary about disclosing the details of her mother's passing to the public. Ashley stated, "There are some things that we would just like to retain as a family. Both sister and pop, stepfather Larry Strickland, have sort of deputized me in certain ways to speak on behalf of the family at this early time before things about the 30th of April become public without our control." Ashley Judd, daughter of the late singer Naomi Judd, spoke out about her mother's death in a recent interview. With tears streaming down her face, Ashley revealed that her mother used a firearm in her apparent suicide. Despite the Judd family's efforts to keep this information private, Ashley felt that it was important to share in order to encourage others who are suffering from mental illness to seek help. "My mother knew that she was seen and heard in her anguish, and she was walked home," Ashley said. "When we're talking about mental illness, it's very important to be clear and to make the distinction between our loved one and the disease. It's very real, and it lies, it's savage." Naomi Judd left her daughters out of her will and appointed her husband as the executor of her estate. She signed the document 5 years before her death and was of sound mind and disposing memory when she did so. Following their mother's passing, Ashley and Winona released a statement expressing their profound grief and sadness at their loss. They also expressed concern about potential media coverage of the tragedy and have been highly critical of the public release of information and images related to their mother's death. Despite their efforts to keep the details private, the Judd family dropped a lawsuit last December that they filed to try to stop the public release of police images and to seal the report of the investigation. The Naomi Judd bill, filed by Franklin State Senator Jack Johnson, has caused controversy and sparked debate. The bill, which makes it more difficult for the public to obtain death records, is intended to protect the privacy of those who have lost a loved one to suicide. However, many believe that it prevents families from seeking justice and allows law enforcement to hide a sloppy investigation. The Judd family released a statement, saying, "Those who are victims of losing a loved one to suicide shouldn't be re-victimized again." Despite the controversy surrounding the bill, Winona Judd continues to perform on the Judds' final tour, with live concerts featuring an all-star lineup of artists, including Brandi Carlile and Tanya Tucker, scheduled through at least February 25. The media attention surrounding Naomi Judd's suicide has caused frustration for the family. However, some feel that the bill assumes that law enforcement always gets things right, a notion that Nashville private detective Sheila Wysocki disagrees with. She says, "I thought the public and the reason that we have these open records law is to keep the authorities accountable. In this particular case, you're taking the access away from the public. Why? And why are you protecting them?" The bill says that if law enforcement determines no crime was committed, no one can obtain scene photos, 911 calls, or video and audio from police body cams. This raises questions about accountability and the purpose of open records laws. Wysocki asks, where's the accountability? The Naomi Judd bill continues to spark debate and raises important questions about the balance between privacy and accountability. Wysocki, a private detective, has built a reputation for challenging law enforcement investigations and has been instrumental in uncovering the truth in several high-profile cases. In the Holly Bobo case, Wysocki was the lead detective in exposing the TBI's mismanagement of the investigation. Similarly, in the Lauren Agee case, the family was able to challenge the findings of the investigation and use evidence gathered during the investigation to disprove the official findings. If the proposed bill had passed, all the material related to these investigations would have been sealed, making it difficult for families to seek justice. Lauren's mother expressed her concern over the bill, stating that she couldn't imagine not having access to the police file, autopsy, and other materials that helped her understand how her daughter died. She argued that if the bill were to be put into effect, there would be no justice. Wysocki has also uncovered several cases where suicides were initially ruled but were later found to be murders. Currently, she is working on 3 cases in Murfreesboro where families are fighting to have investigations into suicides re-examined. While law enforcement does a great job in most cases, they admit that they don't always get everything 100% correct. So why would we take away a valuable tool from families who are seeking justice? Fox 17 News reached out to State Senator Jack Johnson, the sponsor of the bill, for an interview. In response, he issued a statement saying that the release of audio, photographs, or any other recordings taken inside a private residence where a person has passed away and no crime was committed harms families and provides no benefit to the public. However, this assumption disregards the possibility of law enforcement making mistakes. When asked for further comment, Johnson's office stated that they were still working on the bill and trying to find a solution that would protect victims' rights without infringing on the public's right to information. However, a day later, the Republican caucus announced that the bill, as it stands, was dead and that they were working on a similar proposal that would protect privacy but not compromise the rights of Tennessee residents. Sherry Smith, a critic of the bill, advised the senator to let it go. She pointed out that while the death of celebrity singer Naomi Judd was tragic, there are 6.8 million other Tennessee residents who also have rights. Despite the bill being declared dead, Senator Johnson plans to bring it back in a different form. Despite the recent revelations and controversy surrounding the passing of Naomi Judd, the country music community continues to honor her legacy. The Judds' final tour continues to sell out shows, featuring an all-star lineup of artists paying tribute to the legendary singer. Fans have been sharing their memories and condolences on social media, remembering the impact that Naomi had on their lives through her music and activism. Her music continues to live on, touching the hearts of new generations and reminding us of her incredible talent and spirit. In the midst of the public attention and debate over the Naomi Judd bill, it is important to remember the pain and loss that the Judd family has experienced. They have faced a great deal of criticism and media scrutiny, but have remained strong and resilient in the face of their grief. Their efforts to protect their privacy and the legacy of their loved one are commendable, and their decision to share their story in order to encourage others to seek help for mental health issues is a powerful message of hope. The legacy of Naomi Judd will continue to live on through her music and the impact she had on so many lives. Her death has brought attention to important issues of privacy, accountability, and mental health, and has sparked a larger conversation about the rights of families and the public's right to information. As we continue to honor her memory, let us also work towards finding a solution that protects the rights of all those affected by the loss of a loved one.